there, and welcome to another Coffee and Connect chat. I just love chatting, interesting and inspiring people. And today I have Adrienne Lee from Payact Drama with me. Thanks for joining me, Adrienne.
Oh, I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much for having me, Sue.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. This is a topic that I'm really passionate about talking about because what I teach is skills and techniques that help people become more self aware, able to understand and manage their emotions in a more helpful way, relationship skills, and ways of communicating that are more mindful and being aware of how we speak and connect to other people and how we treat ourselves as well. So I was absolutely fascinated when, I don't know, recently it dawned on me that you actually teach the same things to children in your drama school, but through a different medium. And we all know the best way for children to learn is through fun and through play. So that's what I wanted to discuss with you today, Adrienne, because my firm belief is that if we learn these so called soft skills, well, first of all, to me, there's nothing soft about life skills that
Mm.
help us to know, like, and trust ourselves. To me, they're the foundations and the cornerstones for living a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life. And I firmly believe that when we learn these skills, and they are skills that we can learn,
Yeah.
we will have, we will be happier and healthier. We will have happier homes, and our children will be more able to cope and will be happier in who they are, leading to happier, healthier, more better functioning
Yeah.
schools, societies, businesses, and we will have less domestic and social issues. So for me, I feel it goes really deep, my passion in sharing these skills. And I am really interested today, Adrienne, to talk to you about how your drama, which you've been doing for years, so you'll tell us about how that plays out with the children in your school. So, first of all, let's introduce you, and then I would like to take you through how your drama and your training with the children, how it impacts in all of those areas of self-awareness, self-management, relationship and communication skills, and social skills. So we can go through each of those areas, which are the pillars or the cornerstones really of personal development, and those so-called soft skills that we speak of, leading to greater emotional intelligence, which is an attribute, something that we all need to nurture and develop, because there's so much emphasis on academic and other areas of
Yeah.
learning that, to me, if we get this right, the rest all is easier and falls into place.
Yeah.
As you can see, I love talking and I could talk forever about this, but I'm now going to let you get a word in. So, Adrienne, tell us a bit about you.
Hi, Sue. Thank you for having me here today. My name is Adrienne, and Play Act Drama School is something that I'm very passionate about. It's for children and young people from 3 to 18.
Okay.
So I suppose I have to go back a bit.
Mm.
As a child myself, that's where the passion came from. I was quite a shy child, and I learned in a very different way at school. So
Right.
drama, this is the short version. My mother put me into speech and drama, and I never kind of looked back because that's how I blossomed. I was very conscious at school, will say, of
Yeah.
like reading and like I didn't have an awareness, and I'd be sitting in the class hoping that I wouldn't be called. And then I went into
Yeah.
speech drama, and sure, we'd read poems, and it was, I learned that actually I can read. I am actually okay at
Yes.
reading and just mixing with the other kids. I loved it, but I wasn't aware that I was like that at school. And so I learned how to like everything like I was born loving playing and pretending. So it was all those things that led to Payact being set up, I suppose, in a way. It was through wanting to work full-time at something that I love. I love writing, love acting, and I've worked in those areas. So that's how Payact was kind of set up. And I love it.
That's amazing. Yeah. How long have you had your business in Payact?
Well, I freelanced for years, but I suppose
Right.
officially kind of like since I had my first child, like 3.5 years ago.
Fantastic. And thankfully now you're online, but we'll get to talk about that as well because it's accessible globally, which is such a gift to so many children out there, especially remotely where they can't access drama classes, even post lockdown. But we'll come to that. What I really want to ask you is if we begin with self-awareness, as you said, you were very self-aware, and most children are. I know I struggled with social anxiety. I know how that feels, but even every child goes through those stages, and many adults, self-awareness. So how would you say the drama supports nurturing a positive self-awareness and self-belief?
I suppose that every one of our classes start with a discussion, like an open discussion. Now it's very managed because you can imagine, having 15 kids or 12 kids and they all want their say. So it's managed, but they're taught from a very young age that they can share whatever is on their mind. If something happened that day at school, if they're having difficulty. And the thing is, the younger the children are, they're very honest. They'll tell you exactly as it is.
Yeah.
So it's through those kinds of discussions that I think children learn that it's okay. It's okay to say I'm not okay, or it's okay to say I'm feeling a bit like this today, or this happened in the schoolyard. And it's through those discussions, I think, that they do become aware, and then even dramatizing and role playing and reflecting. I think that is all how they would develop their self-awareness and become even more aware of the people in their lives. And even if you take school, for example, or Montessori or anything like that, we say to our kids, go on in, everything's okay. And then they have to go in on their own and kind of navigate their way through and try to make friends, try to figure out, what's okay, what isn't okay on the yard. There's more rules. So they're taking all of that in and then trying to figure out, why am I feeling like some kids could be fine and not, but other kids might not be as okay. Some could be shy, some could be over enthusiastic, which I was. But so I think that through the class, when they go there and they have a safe space, away from mommy and daddy even. Because let's face it, we don't really know how our own children are showing up as well. They are different with their parents than they are, which I learned as well, because my eldest child is 3.5, so I'm only learning that myself. But to arrive in a safe space where they're given that time, where they can just be themselves.
Be independent, yes.
I think then that awareness feeds into other stuff, Sue. That's I think that one of them aren't in isolation. I think that they're building blocks and they're building all the time.
So being given a voice, our generation, I think globally, were like almost not, seen and not heard. So you're giving there a voice to say that, well, this is who I am, this is who I'm feeling, and it's okay to feel that. And becoming more aware of who they are and what they're feeling. And that in itself, being able to articulate that is very powerful. As you said, in a safe space, independent of close family members.
Yeah, because we're all different around family, but you actually hit a very good point there, Sue. So when kids come to us, we're not saying, oh, this is the right way and this is the wrong way. We're learning the child that's on front of us, because there isn't any two kids that are the same. They're just not. So we're like meeting the kids where they're at, whether
Yes.
that is that they've got a speech delay, or they're a bit shy, or they
Mm,
just can't listen, or they're mad for the stage, or whatever
yeah.
it is, we're meeting them where they're at. So they are learning that they're enough exactly as they are. And then it's just pulling that out and enhancing that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, recognizing that independently they're getting to know who they are, and it's
Yeah.
okay to be who they are. And that
Yeah.
in itself is very,
Yeah.
very powerful.
Yeah.
And you talked there about emotions as well. And that's where we come on to the next cornerstone, if you like, of self-management.
Yeah.
So understanding, and I have 7 week training for teens. So it's understanding and managing your emotions. It,
Yeah.
so that's also, I would imagine, a huge part of drama that you're
Yeah.
teaching, is
Yeah.
because a lot of the time we ask the child to say, well, or you say, calm down, or why
Yeah.
are you feeling, what are you doing that for? And they don't even know themselves.
Yeah.
Like, the worst thing you could tell even an adult is to calm down. They need to know how. How do I? There are skills and techniques that can help you to do those things. So I can imagine drama is wonderful for bringing awareness and an understanding to one's emotions and expressing them in a way that helps the child understand themselves better and process those emotions in a more helpful way.
Yeah, and I think like just even giving them the tools to be able to name their feelings,
Yeah,
because I know myself, I found it very overwhelming when I was a kid. I hadn't a clue, to be honest. It's like what you were saying earlier. You were
yeah,
kind of like told, just get on with it,
yeah,
which has served me in many ways, and in other ways it hasn't served me at all. So like I hadn't a clue. Whereas like in drama, because I did a locution, so it was like, even
yes,
though we did loads of acting, it was different than the way a drama and theatre class is presented now, and especially what
right.
we do. But I think emotions, you can have loads of fun with it. And then the kids
Mm.
are learning at a very young age that what they're feeling is okay, and putting a name on it. So we would use like a lot of like nursery rhymes, because the kids know they might know the rhyme, but they might know what the word means, or they might know the
Yes,
emotion. So it starts very basic, or we might
yes,
use music and get them to see what way they feel, So it would be a very gentle way into emotions. And then we
yeah,
would have really good fun with emotions as well. So it's kind of identifying the emotions, giving them an opportunity to, and again, that would come up in the discussion, and assertiveness, and bringing it into a dramatizing, a
yeah,
script or a story as well. So it's good fun. I like working with emotions, actually.
yeah. Very powerful, very powerful. And as you say, they learn without realizing that they're learning,
Yeah,
and
yeah. So it's
that's
not
the
like they
effect.
think they're sitting down. It's not like they're sitting down. Because
Yes,
I think that if you say to a student like, "Oh, we're going to be learning about emotions," they're like, "Oh God, I don't want to do that." Whereas they're having fun, enjoying themselves, connecting with their peers, sharing, having fun. But
yes,
don't realize that they are building
yeah,
all the, and you can see the interesting thing is within one term, and I'm sure you find this with
yeah,
your own
yeah.
teenage classes, within one term you can physically see the growth.
That's it. Exactly.
It's incredible.
Because they're practicing, they're coming into that
Yeah.
space every week. So there's the repetition of,
Yeah.
so they're growing, it's becoming part of who they are without them even being aware of
Yeah.
expressing themselves, addressing their emotions. And it feels good. So they're going to
Yeah.
want to continue that. And that
Yeah.
space where they feel unjudged, not judged and heard,
Yeah.
is that's wonderful. That's
Yeah.
really great. And it's on an ongoing basis. So you
Yeah.
really are giving them those skills for life. And then
Yeah.
we come on to relationship and communication skills. And as I say, this is something that we were never taught as children. We did have speech and drama, but I think there's such a greater emphasis now on the need to address these areas because they give us this coping skills for life because we develop confidence in who we are and an inner strength to be ourselves, as you had said. And let's face it, we all need reminders of how to communicate more mindfully, more compassionately. And when we start to do that for ourselves, we then do it for others.
Yeah.
And I would imagine, and you can explain now, how drama supports a child with relationships and communication, which will ripple into their home lives. Because what we're also talking about here is a happy, healthy, fulfilled child who knows how to communicate
Yeah.
and speak to themselves and to others. That contributes greatly to
Oh
creating a
yeah.
happy home and a happy environment in the school life. And it has that ripple effect because our energy is felt by people around you, your vibe.
Yeah.
And so would you like to tell me a bit about how drama supports children in communicating and the relationship skills?
I guess that at the like going back to the very basics, like they
Yeah,
learn at the very start of the term, like we would work together as a unit to
yeah,
achieve the learning outcome, and it would be that everybody is working together in a group.
yeah,
So they know from the very start that they're building that trust within the group.
yeah,
So it builds like a foundation. And then I guess, the whole relationship thing, like within a class, they all end up being, because whether you can't just work with your best friends all the time,
yeah,
so you're working with people that, the way kids are, they're like, I don't want to work with, but they learn that they have to work with one another. And then through role play and dramatizing, and different kinds of exercise and drama techniques, they can build their relationship and their friendships. But I
mhm,
think that when what you call it when they're what you call it in the yard, because
mhm,
things are coming up for them all the time themselves, that and they're through their weekly discussions, because they're bringing it to the class, that's how they're kind of negotiating. So they're learning all the time to negotiate with one another and with their own friends, and to turn take and different stuff like that.
yeah,
So I think that the main thing is, I think giving kids the space, which we touched on already at the start, but I think it's a big one, because I think that everything kind of leads into it, by just allowing your child that space where they can just turn up and just be themselves and talk about whatever is going on, that they are building relationships with themselves. And because they're able to build a relationship with themselves, they're able to give to other people. And it does have a ripple effect, whether it's in the yard or in the classroom, or you know, so and like just the other day, I was speaking to a parent, and she's got two little boys that come to our classes, and they're very lively.
yeah,
And she says, like, every week it's kind of the same thing. They're like, oh, I don't want to go. I don't know if I want to
yeah,
go. And then they go, they come out, and they're much happier. They're easier to manage, her words, and they're much
yes,
more energized. So I think that,
yes.
and like they would have really strong relationships with me, with their classmates. So
Mhm.
I think stuff like that. I think it's just wonderful for kids.
Yeah. So, and like you said, in life, we have to deal with all sorts of different people, and it takes all sorts of different people to make the world go round. We
Yeah.
need to be different to
Yeah.
um, to enhance each other's growth and to learn from each other and support each other. So I guess they learn a lot of tolerance
Yeah.
for other people, which is, let's face it, a lot of adults could really do
Yeah.
learning this as well, or we forget, or we were never taught, or we're in such an automatic way of being, our default way, that actually maybe isn't serving us
Yeah.
to so it's like you said, it begins with awareness of how am I showing up? Who am I? Is there anything that I could, do a bit better to support myself, to have better relationships with myself and with others? And
I think they learn as well to, because we would do a lot of character work and then, be
yeah,
mindful of each other's feelings, because what kids are
yes,
like, they say everything out.
yes, yes,
But just even having that empathy and being able to like play out, like a child being bullied or a child being let down,
yes,
being
yeah,
able to even just play that out. And if
mm,
there is someone in the class like that, or, that they do have to learn tolerance 100%, because sometimes
yeah,
they do only want to play with their one. I just want to play with Sue. I don't want to play with anyone else.
yeah,
And they just can't do that. And they learn that. And then they're happier that they have learned that, because everybody is different and we're learning all the time from one another.
yeah, yeah. So it's actually creating their, like, shining a light of awareness on their whole perception.
Yeah.
And when you do that from a young age, you're expanding their brain
Yeah.
to be more open, um,
And to give
to
them more options, to show them that there's a
options.
different perspective,
Yes,
and that they can
yes,
do anything that they want, and
yes,
and just that it's not a square box kind of thing, that
yes, yeah,
and they get to play with those ideas as well. I think, like playing pretend, like kids love playing and pretending and dressing up, and
yeah,
being able to do that gives them lots of freedom in themselves as well, to explore and express themselves, And the other thing is, like, I have never in my life, like, I've had to do lots of presenting at a
yeah,
college, lots of stuff like that, lots of interviews. It's never bothered me because I did drama, because I
yes.
did drama. So talking never kind of really bothered me. I
Mm.
was always able to kind of carry myself. And that's probably another great thing about drama.
Absolutely. So it's giving you the confidence. So it's giving you all those pillars of self-awareness, self-management, relationship skills, communication skills, social skills that are needed.
Yeah.
Um, I really think you got to start an adult class by the sounds of this. And
Yeah.
I'm coming. Roll me,
Yes. Well,
enroll
I
me.
want you. Yeah.
Yeah. And so
No.
what I was going to come back to there is, well, what you're doing at the moment. So you have classes that you brought online because you were just in person. Can you tell us more about? Clearly, drama isn't just a nice thing for your child to do.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
gift of life skills that you are giving them to go out into the world where, let's face it, life is very challenging
Yeah.
and it can be a struggle. And we need to be able to give our children the best possible chance to live
Yeah.
their happiest, healthiest life that they can cope. And I know what I was going to say there is actually through the drama as well, I can imagine that you said they're more energized, but I
Yeah.
would imagine at the same token, they're also more relaxed.
Mm.
And we know that when one is more relaxed, they
Yeah.
can think with greater clarity, they can make better decisions, their
Yeah.
emotional brain isn't as activated. And
Yeah.
so when they can all access that space of calm more often, it's going to support them better to regulate their thoughts and their emotions, leading to, I would say, better, if you like, or more positive behavioral outcomes.
Yeah.
So there's drama is a lot more than just a nice thing for your
Yeah.
child to do for an hour or two. It's an absolute gift. And we all know, as we said, that they learn through play. So, Adrienne, before we finish up, we just talk about what you now offer and how somebody could get hold of you? And another thing, if you ever start an adult class, please let me know.
I will. At the moment, we're online, and the classes are a huge success. We have people from all over Ireland, which is lovely, and from overseas like Sweden and Beijing. So it's really
Wow,
nice.
it's wonderful.
But the ones that are with us are probably with us since September, I'd say. And
Yeah,
for older students. So they're weekly classes and camps. That's what we do. So we have an Easter camp coming on Wednesday, the 29th of March for
Okay.
3 days from 12 until 3. And then we'll take a break over the Easter, but the classes are every week. And our next, like, if anyone wants to try a taster, they're very welcome to do a taster because I know that sometimes when you hear a drama class, straight away it's like, my child doesn't want to be an actor, like, or they might know about drama classes.
Yes.
But drama is much more than a play for a day. It really is skills for life. And you touched on loads of wonderful stuff there, Sue. And so they can try out and see before you commit.
Which is important, especially for a child who is apprehensive or shy and thinks, I don't want to go learning and speaking out in front of people, that it is through play. And it's a space, I guess, like when I did kids yoga, it's a space where it's non-competitive. Because there's so much competition out there in sports, academics, all of this. It's non-competitive, where they can just be themselves, and it's a personal growth. It's a journey, and where they can just play. So I think it's also important for the child to know this is very different to other maybe extramural activities that you may have done. And it's lovely that the child can try it out first. And Adrienne, can I also ask you, when we're in lockdown, and please God this year, sooner than later, we'll be back to normal, our new normal. You'll be holding in-person classes. Will you still continue with the online classes?
I definitely will. If you'd said to me a year ago, I would have said, no way, like, I'm not going online. But now I wanted a program that matched our face-to-face classes, because I was really pride myself on delivering, real quality, and we have developed that, through like lots of training ourselves. And one thing I just wanted to point out, I think that even though the class is coming through a screen, it's not like sitting down for a Zoom meeting. The child is up, hands-free, where they can move. And, like if you were watching TV, like a cartoon or something, like, just we'll say Paw Patrol are having all the fun. The kid isn't having the fun. Whereas the classes, the child is having the fun. The child is playing. The child is using their mind. They're engaging. They're interacting. It's their ideas. So like we would use structure in our classes and improvisation, but a lot of thought and ideas and discussion, it comes from the students, and they work together in smaller groups and stuff like that. So it is different what we're doing, and it's definitely worth trying. I would send my own children,
That's great. And that's actually really nice, for a child, say, who is socially anxious or doesn't think it's for them, or are nervous going to a new place, leaving mom. This is actually really nice, I think, because they can access it in their own home. So there's that sense of security. It's taking a first step where they still feel safe and secure before going to do it in person. So I think it's really great what you're doing.
Exactly, Sue. It's us coming
really,
into
really
your
wonderful.
Exactly.
I'm just looking online. We have.
Oh, sorry, no.
No, I'm just saying we have wonderful, great techniques to overcome day-to-day challenge that children have. So that's Caroline who's watching, and thank you, Caroline, for joining us, and everybody who's watching on replay. So I'm really thrilled to hear that you will be continuing online, because globally there are children, and in remote areas, who can now access this wonderful space that you are offering, and they will all now be entertained and busy for Easter. Adrienne, how can they access you?
You can get our website, www.payact.ie.
Payact.ie. Fantastic. And I will put your link into the comments, and we can take it from there. So you hold holiday clubs. Will you hold one in the summer, like the Western world summer holidays? Will you have a holiday club then?
Yeah, we usually run. We're just ironing out the details for it.
Okay.
We have run camps and classes since the lockdown. Like we did the Easter camps online, summer camps. So we definitely will run something online. I'm not really sure what way the venues will go at the moment, but we'll
Yes. Yeah.
definitely be online anyway. Definitely, yeah.
Great. Great. Well, Adrienne, thank you for your time today. And it's really been really great to chat to you about things that are really, really important if we want to support emotionally intelligent adults of the future. Um,
Yeah.
so I really, really thank you for that. And it's been a pleasure to chat to you.
Oh, thank you so much, Sue, for having me. Have a great day.
Thanks, you too. And thanks, everybody, for joining us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.